there's everything around this, and it's exciting, and it's young and creative and different and unique. And those are magic moments. And we're going, this whole trajectory of the internet, crypto, AI, all of this is about to change everything. And this is that moment. And this moment is going to be relevant to humanity forever. And so artists tell stories. And particularly cultural stories. And it's so attractive. It's just fun.
Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Finance. It's said that the days of 100 buy returns are over. But in the world of cryptocurrency, time is crucial, and the next big wave is closer than most people realize. We are entering the exponential age, where artificial intelligence, AI, blockchain, and digital networks will enable previously unheard of levels of wealth creation. According to Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal, Pal contends that the real promise of cryptocurrency is found in how decentralized systems capture and scale value as adoption increases, not in hype and conjecture. Crypto is changing the way value is transferred around the world. Much like the internet changed how people could access information, his main point? Digital code is replacing money, and those who understand this early on stand to win enormously. Raoul Pal is going to outline exactly how to get ready for what he refers to as the largest financial revolution of our time. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and also because of the old system of the rigidity of having to go through a seed raise and friends of family, and then you need to go through a VC and all of this, you are naturally just losing equity of the firm. But if we take forward the conversation we were having before about instant capital formation, you actually don't need to go through that process in the same way.
That's exactly right.
Fascinating. So, more importantly, digital art. Where did this journey start with you? And I want to talk about this journey because this is another amazing thing. We've both been going through this whole journey at the same time as well and thoroughly loving it. So, give me that whole story. Where did it start for you?
So I missed the whole free-to-claim CryptoPunk 2017. I never bought a CryptoKitty when Ethereum showed up. I saw them. I saw how it collapsed the network. I saw the punks, but I was too busy doing my stuff and missed the whole thing and missed the NFT craziness of 21 or 20, 21, 22. I stumbled into digital art in 2022, just 3 years ago. And it was in the bear market, and I was the markets had calmed down. World was a little bit slower. We were reshaping our thesis and our thinking. And on Twitter, I was scrolling, and I saw an art piece posted that looked very similar to an art piece that Becky and I have from a Brazilian artist that was painted in the 80s. And it was very similar. And we were like, "Whoa, this is beautiful." So ended up going online, buying it. It was from a Mexican artist called Juan Carlos Garcia. And he had done it on a Bright Moments Mexico exhibition. And so we bought our first NFT. And then our journey was more like, let's pair, because we have an art, we've been collecting physical art for a while. Let's pair some of our physical art with our digital art. And we went and saw the autoglyphs, and they matched with something we had from an artist from the 50s. And so our journey was not a crypto first journey. Our journey was not a trading journey or a looking for the hot to find stuff. It was very artistic by nature, just trying to pair. And along that journey, when we bought the autoglyphs, we got a chance to meet John and Matt, the Larva founders. And then we talked about CryptoPunks and about the pixels in the CryptoPunks and where it comes from, and we're the same age, and how it was the same games we were playing when we were kids, and the psychic and the whole story about, and how it was free to claim. And that was the day that the aha moment came. And trying to convince Becky to shift from physical art to digital was a journey of itself. And now we're fully, as you can imagine.
Well, because I remember following you earlier in the journey, and you were comparing Latin American and South American art that you'd had physically and that art history of that region and then showing the art history of that region continuing into digital art and how they were referencing each other. So you really came from art itself.
We came from art itself completely. We were just doing the pairings, and our first website was just pairing our stuff and for ourselves and showing our kids how art can talk in different generations to different people, but it still rhymes. And that was our whole thing. I would say we along the way, three things happen. One, you encounter amazing people that are so creative that inspire you. And that is people that, have become our friends, like Eric from Snowfro or Mike People or Sam Spratt and or Michael and Picos. And when you start to meet them and you see the human behind them, you even fall in love more because the inspiration of what they're doing goes beyond just what they're expressing. It's what they feel. So that was really refreshing in a world where art has become extremely stale and politically heated and in many ways boring. I remember we went to the Biennale in Venice in 2023, maybe? When was it? 2024, 23, 24. And we walked the Biennale and it was boring. It was dead. It was no energy. It was just all of this, and it was curated by a Brazilian curator. We thought it was going to be tropical and colorful and beautiful, and it wasn't. And then we walked down, we walked through Venice, and we went to the Bright Moments finale, the last exhibition, and all of these young artists and energy and creativity and pushing each other and collaborating and clapping for each other's success and the news stories, and it just felt like you were back in Paris 1910s or 1920s when the artists had that kind of energy. So we left that place saying, we got to do something about this. This is bigger than just this, because that curation and the Biennale in Venice or the museums, they feel like, in fintech analogy, they feel like going to a bank branch.
Yeah.
Why would you go to a bank branch anymore? They don't talk to you. You don't need anything from the bank branch. That's how museums are talking to people and art is talking to people. So we got more excited to spend more time in this side.
And also, I've talked ad nauseam about this. It's a cultural moment. It's like Paris in the 1910s. It's like London or New York in the early 2000s. It's like, or New York and Warhol Factory. There's everything around this, and it's exciting, and it's young and creative and different and unique. And those are magic moments. And we're going, this whole trajectory of the internet, crypto, AI, all of this is about to change everything. And this is that moment. And this moment is going to be relevant to humanity forever. And so artists tell stories. And particularly cultural stories. And it's so attractive. It's just fun.
Diversifying across slow-growing assets and settling for moderate returns was the conventional strategy for many years. However, according to Raoul Pal, the true danger now lies in mindset. Having assets that can outperform the system should be the top goal in a world. When inflation is eroding your wealth and growth is stalling, herein lies the role of cryptocurrency. According to Pal, a few notable blockchain projects, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are uncommon asymmetric investments where the potential reward greatly exceeds the risk. Like early Berkshire Hathaway shares, he says. But this time, anyone with an internet connection can take advantage of the opportunity. Crypto is wealth democratized through code. It is no longer just a game for the wealthy. Pal's message is clear. Stop working in a dysfunctional system and let exponential technology take over. Blockchain assets are expanding faster than any traditional market.
So once you had the aha moment and you got Becky across the line, or how did you get Becky across the line from here's some really kind of interesting contemporary art to, listen, there's a pixel image with a hoodie and glasses and this is a really good idea. Tell me about how you got Becky across the line, and then we'll talk about what you've been building, because it's really important what you're doing.
I wish I could tell you that I take credit for it, but I didn't. It wasn't me that got across the line. After being together for a lifetime, this is what happens. But she joined a call put together by the curated team. We were investors in curated at the beginning, and they had brought Matt and John from Larva to explain CryptoPunks. And they went online and they show hey, there's 5 types of punks. Here they are, female, male, zombies, apes, and aliens. And here are the rarities. And there's 87 attributes. And here's how we play with them. And here's how we put it together. And here's how we did the collection.
So what did you do then? So the canvas, the node, punks, that story is a really interesting story as well. And I think it needs to be told.
I think as a collector, what we do is we believe in this idea that trying to be the trusted friend to the artist. And in art world, that's called like a patron model. I don't know exactly, but I don't think we don't get the joy of doing this if we don't get to spend time with the artists, meet them, and encourage them to push the limits of their imagination. Because that is the best way. That's where art should live. The same way entrepreneurs are the best when you push them to the limits of their imagination and you just give them the support and the trust and the comfort that you're there for them if shit goes bad, right? So that's how we feel with the artist side. Let's not work in their system. Let's be the rebels, like in Rivet, where we consider ourselves to be rebels. How do we do the same in this world? Because it's very similar in so many ways. People don't see it. The older generation are not going to be the people who are actually the collectors. It's going to be the young generations who understand it and they live it and they're okay with digital art and living in pixels or on chain or the world seeing it, but only one person owning it.
Super interesting choice of location because obviously there's Stanford there, there's all of the technologists and none of them actually own digital art. There's very few of these guys who built this whole digital world own any of this stuff. It's weird.
That's correct. It's very weird. And I think it's going to grow on them. And I think once they see it, they cannot unsee it. They connect with it really fast. We've been at our home. We have been exhibiting digital art and physical art together. You can see how digital art attracts everybody young and they get embedded in it and they get absorbed by it and they ask questions and they want to come back and see it again. So you can see this is going to happen. It's just, it hasn't been in their place. You don't expect a techie guy to go to the museum and walk for 2 hours and find one piece in a LED screen this size on a wall. That's not going to make the connection to them.
It's also interesting to see the collector base change as well. We're starting to see there's very little trading goes on now. It's just a bunch of collectors coming into the space and trying to build serious collections. I think the whole space has changed. A lot of people don't understand this. When I mentioned I was at some family office event in LA and talking about it, NFTs, they're like, oh my God, that was awful. I'm like, you don't understand what's happening is like, there are serious collections being built, serious relationships with artists, and it's less financialization and more the traditional art curation and collection that's happening.
I agree with you. I think we're just starting the storytelling phase. And even the artists are getting more comfortable telling their story because they were the first entrepreneurs. This is like the first entrepreneurs that started the internet. They just saw technology in a way that no one else understood it. They saw the future way, way before. And now you're starting to see how they're getting comfortable telling the stories, sharing how this has happened. And on top of that, there's a whole generation of new artists that you've met and I'm meeting that are just special also. Because for them, it's like, there's no other way. There's no turning back. They didn't even train on the old mediums. They went straight to these new mediums.
And I think it's going to push mediums even further. You and I were talking about, hologram as a...
Holograms.
All of this, and the artists are pushing it, really, because they're pushing technology. I mean, they were using AI. There's so much interesting stuff going on because of the forefront. And how I've split my own collecting is cultural stuff, which is the commenting of what's going on in society.
Yes.
Or there's the cutting edge stuff, which is like, here's some incredible things that are happening. I always refer to the Kim Asendorf pixel decks because it's like,
yes,
it's unbelievable as a concept where every single pixel is a token in its own right. There's something in that, which is something about what you're talking about, that everything is a token, that's really interesting statement. Online, you guys were posting, I think the node was posting that there's a bunch of screens just arriving. So what is that? When do you think it's going to be up and running? I know it's hard and there's a lot to do and You need to break
Well,
new ground yourself to get this done.
well, to answer that question, it all starts with having a great team. And we got a team led by Phil, who was at Sunday early days and Brave Moments and built a lot of their tours all over the world, who loves technology and loves art. And we got a team. The team at Node, it's engineers and AI people. It's not art curators or museum people. So it's a very different way of approaching the exhibition. So to answer your question, we will be soft opening the space sometime in December for us to test and see how it goes. We'll officially open to public in January. I'm not sure yet on the date, but we will definitely start with a collection that is close and dear to many of the art digital holders of the world, with what we think is one of the best brands worldwide.
And how I think about it, again, it's something you and I talked about. You know, your mission is complete or not complete, but you're on the right track, the larger the number of holders of punks there are. Because then you're creating, if you can have 10,000 nodes in that network, it's much more powerful than 5,000 nodes in the network.
100%. I think the true North Star, if I had a KPI, it will be that over the next 10 years, we have 10,000 unique holders of punks. And maybe by then, some people are fractionalizing ownership and there's more. That's a whole different equation that smart contracts will allow to do or not. But I do think that that's a value of this. It's what it means and what it will represent to society.
And a final question on the art side is, how do we bring new people in, or do we just allow it to happen from the younger cohort? Because there was a whole moment in this space where they thought it was important to go to museums, and they thought it was important to go to Art Basel and bring in traditional art investors. I just don't think that's the way. I think it should be crypto native, internet native people.
Although it may seem audacious, Raoul Pal claims that the statistics support it. During the next 7 years, the market value of cryptocurrency is expected to increase from $4 trillion to $100 trillion. Growth like that indicates a change on a magnitude that few people fully understand. Pal emphasizes Ethereum and Solana as high-velocity layers of possibility, even while Bitcoin is still the firm base. His opinion? By 2030, holding only these three assets over a complete market cycle may increase a $10,000 investment to $1 million. However, pursuing wealth isn't the only goal. Pal views cryptocurrency as a means of both attack and defense, a means of increasing your wealth and protecting it against a system that is collapsing in a world of endless money printing, mounting debt, and AI-driven employment disruption.